Hi! I see you're about to become smarter. This video will help you to improve your English language skills. So let's begin.
Grade. Grade. Grade means level of rank, quality, proficiency, etc. Level of rank, quality, proficiency, etc. For example, sea salt is usually available in coarse or fine grades. Sea salt is usually available in coarse or fine grades. Graduate. Graduate. Graduate means person with undergraduate or first academic degree. Person with undergraduate or first academic degree. For example, everyone else in the race was either an Oxbridge graduate or undergraduate. Everyone else in the race was either an Oxbridge graduate or undergraduate. Grain. Grain. Grain means cultivated cereal used as food. Cultivated cereal used as food. For example, grain growers want the best price for their produce. Grain growers want the best price for their produce. Grant. Grant. Grant means sum of money given by organization for particular purpose. Sum of money given by organization for particular purpose. For example, a research grant. A research grant. Graphics. Graphics. Graphics means products of graphic arts. Products of graphic arts. For example, the range includes sweatshirts and t-shirts featuring new graphics with bold lines and colors. The range includes sweatshirts and t-shirts featuring new graphics with bold lines and colors. Greenhouse. Greenhouse. Greenhouse means glass building in which plants that need protection from cold weather are grown. Glass building in which plants that need protection from cold weather are grown. For example, the disease mainly afflicts plants in commercial greenhouses. The disease mainly afflicts plants in commercial greenhouses. Grocery. Grocery. Grocery means grocer's shop or business. Grocer's shop or business. For example, I went to the grocery to buy some fruit. I went to the grocery to buy some fruit. Guarantee. Guarantee. Guarantee means assurance that conditions will be met. Assurance that conditions will be met. For example, we offer a 10-year guarantee against rusting. We offer a 10-year guarantee against rusting. Guard. Guard. Guard means person who guards. Person who guards. For example, a security guard. A security guard. Guideline. Guideline. Guideline means general rule, principle, or piece of advice. General rule, principle, or piece of advice. For example, the organization has issued guidelines for people working with prisoners. The organization has issued guidelines for people working with prisoners. Handle. Handle. Handle means part by which thing is held or controlled. Part by which thing is held or controlled. For example, the pan features helpful lifting handles. The pan features helpful lifting handles. Happiness. Happiness. Happiness means state of being happy. State of being happy. For example, she struggled to find happiness in her life. She struggled to find happiness in her life. Harm. Harm. Harm means physical injury. Physical injury. For example, it's fine as long as no one is inflicting harm on anyone else. It's fine as long as no one is inflicting harm on anyone else. Hate. Hate. Hate means intense dislike. Intense dislike. For example, feelings of hate and revenge. Feelings of hate and revenge. Headline. Headline. Headline means heading at top of newspaper article. Heading at top of newspaper article. For example, a front page headline. A front page headline. Headquarters. Headquarters. Headquarters means premises occupied by military commander and commander's staff. Premises occupied by military commander and commander's staff. For example, similar scenes were observed at NATO headquarters across town. Similar scenes were observed at NATO headquarters across town. Healthcare. Healthcare. Healthcare means organized provision of medical care. Organized provision of medical care. For example, rural people deserve good health care. Rural people deserve good health care. Heating. Heating. Heating means equipment used to provide heat. Equipment used to provide heat. For example, baseboard heating. Baseboard heating. Heaven. Heaven. Heaven means home of God or the gods. Home of God or the gods. For example, those who practiced good deeds would receive the reward of a place in heaven. Those who practiced good deeds would receive the reward of a place in heaven. Heel. Heel. Heel means back of human foot below ankle. Back of human foot below ankle. For example, she knew what the best angle of heel was for a swift passage. She knew what the best angle of heel was for a swift passage. Helicopter. Helicopter. Helicopter means type of aircraft which derives both lift and propulsion from one or more sets of horizontally revolving overhead rotors. Type of aircraft which derives both lift and propulsion from one or more sets of horizontally revolving overhead rotors. For example, light aircraft, 60 helicopters, riverboats, and hovercraft provided his mobility. Light aircraft, 60 helicopters, riverboats, and hovercraft provided his mobility. Hell. Hell. Hell means spiritual realm of evil and suffering. Spiritual realm of evil and suffering. For example, irreligious children were assumed to have passed straight to the eternal fires of hell. Irreligious children were assumed to have passed straight to the eternal fires of hell. Helmet. Helmet. Helmet means hard or padded protective hat, various types. Hard or padded protective hat, various types. For example, the wind beat hard at their helmets and clothes. The wind beat hard at their helmets and clothes. Herb. Herb. Herb means any plant with leaves, seeds, or flowers used for flavoring. Any plant with leaves, seeds, or flowers used for flavoring. For example, bundles of dried herbs. Bundles of dried herbs. High. High. High means high point, level, or figure. High point, level, or figure. For example, commodity prices were at a rare high. Commodity prices were at a rare high. Highlight. Highlight. Highlight means best part of a period or event. Best part of a period or event. For example, he views that season as the highlight of his career. He views that season as the highlight of his career. Hire. Hire. Hire means action of hiring. Action of hiring. For example, car hire is recommended. Car hire is recommended. Historian. Historian. Historian means expert in history. Expert in history. For example, a military historian. A military historian. Hold. Hold. Hold means act or manner of holding something. Act or manner of holding something. For example, he caught hold of her arm. He caught hold of her arm. Honesty. Honesty. Honesty means quality of being honest. Quality of being honest. For example, they spoke with convincing honesty about their fears. They spoke with convincing honesty about their fears. Hook. Hook. Hook means piece of metal with bent end. Piece of metal with bent end. For example, a picture hook. A picture hook. Horror. Horror. Horror means intense fear, shock, or disgust. Intense fear, shock, or disgust. For example, children screamed in horror. Children screamed in horror. Host. Host. Host means person receiving others as guests. Person receiving others as guests. For example, a dinner party host. A dinner party host. Household. Household. Household means house and its occupants regarded as unit. House and its occupants regarded as unit. For example, the whole household was asleep. The whole household was asleep. Housing. Housing. Housing means houses and flats collectively. Houses and flats collectively. For example, affordable housing. Affordable housing. Hunger. Hunger. Hunger means discomfort from lack of food. Discomfort from lack of food. For example, she was faint with hunger. She was faint with hunger. Hunt. Hunt. Hunt means act of hunting wild animals. Act of hunting wild animals. For example, a bear hunt. A bear hunt. Hunting. Hunting. Hunting means activity of hunting wild animals or game. Activity of hunting wild animals or game. For example, they talked about going hunting. They talked about going hunting. Hurricane. Hurricane. Hurricane means storm with violent wind. Storm with violent wind. For example, a powerful hurricane hit the Florida coast. A powerful hurricane hit the Florida coast. Hurry. Hurry. Hurry means great haste. Great haste. For example, in my hurry to leave I knocked over a pile of books. In my hurry to leave I knocked over a pile of books. Icon. Icon. Icon means painting of Christ or other holy figure. Painting of Christ or other holy figure. For example, many of her paintings are like expressionistic Byzantine icons. Many of her paintings are like expressionistic Byzantine icons. ID. ID. ID means part of mind in which innate instinctive impulses and primary processes are manifest. Part of mind in which innate instinctive impulses and primary processes are manifest. For example, the conflict between the drives of the id and the demands of the cultural superego. The conflict between the drives of the id and the demands of the cultural superego. Ideal. Ideal. Ideal means perfect person or thing. Perfect person or thing. For example, you're my ideal of how a man should be. You're my ideal of how a man should be. Identity. Identity. Identity means fact of being particular person or thing. Fact of being particular person or thing. For example, he knows the identity of the bombers. He knows the identity of the bombers. Illusion. Illusion. Illusion means instance of wrong or misinterpreted perception of sensory experience. Instance of wrong or misinterpreted perception of sensory experience. For example, the illusion makes parallel lines seem to diverge by placing them on a zigzag striped background. The illusion makes parallel lines seem to diverge by placing them on a zigzag striped background. Illustration. Illustration. Illustration means picture illustrating book, newspaper, etc. Picture illustrating book, newspaper, etc. For example, an illustration of a yacht. An illustration of a yacht. Imagination. Imagination. Imagination means faculty or action of forming new ideas. Faculty or action of forming new ideas. For example, she'd never been blessed with a vivid imagination. She'd never been blessed with a vivid imagination. Immigrant. Immigrant. Immigrant means person who comes to live permanently in foreign country. Person who comes to live permanently in foreign country. For example, he's a recent immigrant to the U.S. from Germany. He's a recent immigrant to the U.S. from Germany. Immigration. Immigration. Immigration means action of coming to live permanently in foreign country. Action of coming to live permanently in foreign country. For example, patterns of immigration from the Indian subcontinent to Britain. Patterns of immigration from the Indian subcontinent to Britain. Impact. Impact. Impact means action of one object striking another. Action of one object striking another. For example, there was the sound of a third impact. There was the sound of a third impact. Implication. Implication. Implication means conclusion that can be drawn from something although it is not explicitly stated. Conclusion that can be drawn from something although it is not explicitly stated. For example, the implication is that no one person at the bank is responsible. The implication is that no one person at the bank is responsible. Import. Import. Import means imported commodity or service. Imported commodity or service. For example, cheap imports from Eastern Europe. Cheap imports from Eastern Europe. Importance. Importance. Importance means state or fact a being of great significance or value. State or fact a being of great significance or value. For example, the importance of democracy. The importance of democracy. Impression. Impression. Impression means idea or feeling. Idea or feeling. For example, his first impressions of Manchester were very positive. His first impressions of Manchester were very positive. Improvement. Improvement. Improvement means example of improving or being improved. Example of improving or being improved. For example, An improvement in East-West relations. An improvement in East-West relations. Incentive. Incentive. Incentive means thing that motivates or encourages someone to do something. Thing that motivates or encourages someone to do something. For example, there is no incentive for customers to conserve water. There is no incentive for customers to conserve water. Inch. Inch. Inch means unit of linear measure. Unit of linear measure. For example, the toy train is 4 inches long. The toy train is 4 inches long. Incident. Incident. Incident means event or occurrence. Event or occurrence. For example, several amusing incidents. Several amusing incidents. Income. Income. Income means money received for work or through investments. Money received for work or through investments. For example, he has a nice home and an adequate income. He has a nice home and an adequate income. Index. Index. Index means alphabetical list in book. Alphabetical list in book. For example, clear cross-references supplemented by a thorough index. Clear cross-references supplemented by a thorough index. Indication. Indication. Indication means sign or piece of information that indicates something. Sign or piece of information that indicates something. For example, the visit was an indication of the improvement in relations between the countries. The visit was an indication of the improvement in relations between the countries. Inflation. Inflation. Inflation means action of inflating something or condition of being inflated. Action of inflating something or condition of being inflated. For example, the inflation of a balloon. The inflation of a balloon. Info. Info. Info means information. Information. For example, the essential info that every seasoned traveler knows. The essential info that every seasoned traveler knows. Infrastructure. Infrastructure. Infrastructure means basic physical and organizational structures and facilities. Basic physical and organizational structures and facilities. For example, the social and economic infrastructure of a country. The social and economic infrastructure of a country. Inhabitant. Inhabitant. Inhabitant means person or animal that lives in or occupies place. Person or animal that lives in or occupies place. For example, fluttering inhabitants occupy bird cages at either side of the porch. Fluttering inhabitants occupy bird cages at either side of the porch. Initiative. Initiative. Initiative means Ability to initiate things independently. Ability to initiate things independently. For example, use your initiative, imagination, and common sense. Use your initiative, imagination, and common sense. Ink. Ink. Ink means fluid used for writing, printing, etc. Fluid used for writing, printing, etc. For example, the names are written in ink. The names are written in ink. Innovation. Innovation. Innovation means action or process of innovating. Action or process of innovating. For example, innovation is crucial to the continuing success of any organization. Innovation is crucial to the continuing success of any organization. Input. Input. Input means effort or material put in. Effort or material put in. For example, perceptions and sensory input. Perceptions and sensory input. Insight. Insight. Insight means capacity for accurate and deep understanding. Capacity for accurate and deep understanding. For example, this paper is alive with sympathetic insight into Shakespeare. This paper is alive with sympathetic insight into Shakespeare. Inspector. Inspector. Inspector means official employed to ensure that official regulations are obeyed. Official employed to ensure that official regulations are obeyed. For example, a prison inspector. A prison inspector. Installation. Installation. Installation means action of installing. Action of installing. For example, the installation of a central air conditioning system. The installation of a central air conditioning system. Instance. Instance. Instance means example or single occurrence of something. Example or single occurrence of something. For example, a serious instance of corruption. A serious instance of corruption. Institute. Institute. Institute means organization with particular purpose. Organization with particular purpose. For example, a research institute. A research institute. Institution. Institution. Institution means organization founded for purpose. Organization founded for purpose. For example, a certificate from a professional institution. A certificate from a professional institution. Insurance. Insurance. Insurance means compensation arrangement for loss, etc. Compensation arrangement for loss, etc. For example, many new borrowers take out insurance against unemployment or sickness. Many new borrowers take out insurance against unemployment or sickness. Intelligence. Intelligence. Intelligence means ability to acquire and apply knowledge. Ability to acquire and apply knowledge. For example, an eminent man of great intelligence. An eminent man of great intelligence. Interpretation. Interpretation. Interpretation means action of explaining meaning of something. Action of explaining meaning of something. For example, the interpretation of data. The interpretation of data. Interval. Interval. Interval means intervening time. Intervening time. For example, after his departure, there was an interval of many years without any meetings. After his departure, there was an interval of many years without any meetings. Invasion. Invasion. Invasion means instance of invading country or region with armed force. Instance of invading country or region with armed force. For example, the Allied invasion of Normandy. The Allied invasion of Normandy. Investigation. Investigation. Investigation means action of investigating something or someone. Action of investigating something or someone. For example, he is under investigation for receiving illicit funds. He is under investigation for receiving illicit funds. Investment. Investment. Investment means action or process of investing money. Action or process of investing money. For example, a debate over private investment in road building. A debate over private investment in road building. Iron. Iron. Iron means hard gray metal. Hard gray metal. For example, gold, silver, copper, aluminum, iron, etc., all have free electrons. Gold, silver, copper, aluminum, iron, etc., all have free electrons. Issue. Issue. Issue means topic or problem for debate. Topic or problem for debate. For example, the issue of global warming. The issue of global warming. Jail. Jail. Jail means place for confinement of people accused or convicted of crime. Place for confinement of people accused or convicted of crime. For example, he served 15 months in jail. He served 15 months in jail. Jet. Jet. Jet means stream of liquid or gas. Stream of liquid or gas. For example, a high-pressure shower with pulsating jets. A high-pressure shower with pulsating jets. Joint. Joint. Joint means point at which parts are joined. Point at which parts are joined. For example, seal the joint between the roof and the house wall. Seal the joint between the roof and the house wall. Journal. Journal. Journal means specialist newspaper or magazine. Specialist newspaper or magazine. For example, medical journals. Medical journals. Journalism. Journalism. Journalism means profession of writing for newspapers or magazines. Profession of writing for newspapers or magazines. For example, she had begun a career in journalism. She had begun a career in journalism. Joy. Joy. Joy means happiness. Happiness. For example, tears of joy. Tears of joy. Judge. Judge. Judge means officer who decides cases in law court. Officer who decides cases in law court. For example, that was decided by the judge who rejected the appellant's evidence. That was decided by the judge who rejected the appellant's evidence. Judgment. Judgment. Judgment means ability to make considered decisions. Ability to make considered decisions. For example, an error of judgment. An error of judgment. Jury. Jury. Jury means body of people sworn to give verdict in legal case on basis of evidence. Body of people sworn to give verdict in legal case on basis of evidence. For example, the jury returned unanimous guilty verdicts. The jury returned unanimous guilty verdicts. Justice. Justice. Justice means just behavior or treatment. Just behavior or treatment. For example, a concern for justice, peace, and genuine respect for people. A concern for justice, peace, and genuine respect for people. Keyboard. Keyboard. Keyboard means panel of keys on computer or typewriter. Panel of keys on computer or typewriter. For example, later that night, Anna sat hunched over her laptop computer keyboard. Later that night, Anna sat hunched over her laptop computer keyboard. Kick. Kick. Kick means blow or thrust with foot. Blow or thrust with foot. For example, a kick in the head. A kick in the head. Killing. Killing. Killing means act of causing death. Act of causing death. For example, the community was shocked by the brutal killings. The community was shocked by the brutal killings. Kit. Kit. Kit means set of articles for specific purpose. Set of articles for specific purpose. For example, a first aid kit. A first aid kit. Knock. Knock. Knock means sudden sound caused by blow. Sudden sound caused by blow. For example, There was a loud, hard knock at the door. There was a loud, hard knock at the door. Label. Label. Label means piece of paper etc. attached to object. Piece of paper etc. attached to object. For example, the alcohol content is clearly stated on the label. The alcohol content is clearly stated on the label.
Great! Watch again, practice the sound, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.